I welcome you all to today's session. In this session, we are going to see simulation of a calculator using Python. By the end of the session, you will be able to use different control statements and loops in Python, and you will be able to simulate a calculator using Python. This is the problem statement. In this assignment, we have to simulate a simple calculator that performs basic tasks such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with special operations like exponential and factorial of a given number. Before going through the code, let us first see the demonstration of the program which is to be implemented. So I will just run the program. So in the program, you have to accept two numbers. So let us say first number is 4 and second number is 2. Then the program must display different choices available to the user. Like choice 1 is addition, 2 is subtraction, 3 is multiplication, 4 is divide, 5 is exponential, and 6 is factorial. Then it will accept a choice from user. Suppose I enter 1. Then it will show addition of two numbers, which is 6. If I enter choice 2, it shows subtraction of two numbers, 4 and 2 is 2. When I say choice 3, it performs multiplication. So multiplication of 4 and 2 is 8. Choice 4 is division. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then exponential, where it will find 4 raised to 2, which is equal to 16. And last option is factorial, where it finds factorial of a first number, that is 4, which is equal to 24. When I press any other number, it will exit the program. So this is what is expected from the program. Before we go through this, let us go through the algorithm. So in the algorithm, after starting the program, you must display all the choices available. Then you must accept the numbers and according to the choice perform respective operation. So if choice is 1, we need to perform addition. Similarly, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, division, and so on. For each of these operations, you have to use arithmetic operators available in Python, like plus, minus, asterisk mark, division symbol. For exponential, we'll see we can use exponential symbol also. So now let us go through the program. So in the program, we need to accept two integer numbers. If you want the program to work for floating point numbers, then here we need to specify float. Use an input statement to accept a number and display a message, enter number 1. User will enter first number. Similarly, accept the second number. Then display all the choices. Accept choice from user. Then after this, based on the choice entered by user, the program must perform different arithmetic operations. So to determine what choice is entered by user, we need to use expressions in Python. And to check the value of expressions, we need to have an if-else statements. That is a decision control statement available in Python. So we'll check if is the keyword. I hope you remember the syntax of if statement, which starts with the if keyword. Then you specify an expression which will be evaluated as true or false, and accordingly the statements are executed. So if choice is 1, we must perform addition. So number 1 plus number 2. And you may have a print statement stating number 1 plus number 2 is equal to the answer of the addition. In Python, we also have an else if statement. We have already seen its syntax. So you can have an if statement also, or you can have an else if statement. In the else if statement, this statement is an else part of this statement. So if this is executed to be false, then the control goes to the else if statement. In the else if statement, we need to check for all other choices and perform respective operation. So in this else if statement, we are checking if choice is equal to 2, then perform subtraction. If choice is equal to 3, we will perform multiplication. Otherwise, if choice is equal to 4, we have to perform division. So for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, we need to use these respective arithmetic operators. Remember, in this assignment, we are making explicit use of the decision control statements for checking the choice entered by the user. Now, if the choice is 5, that is exponential, we can use an exponential operator available in Python. Like number 1 raised to number 2 can be calculated by using this exponential operator. So this operation will be performed automatically and the result will be displayed using this print statement. But if you do not want to use the exponential operator, we can use a for loop in the program. So before understanding this for loop, let us understand how the exponential operation works. Consider this example for exponential. So our first number is 4, second number is 2. To find the exponential, first we set answer equal to 1. We have to find exponential of 4 raised to 2. So we perform 1, that is this answer, multiplied by 4, which is our number 1. The result is again stored in answer, which is equal to 4. Second time we multiply the same answer, which was 4, into our number 1 again. So 4 into 4, which is equal to 2. We have performed it twice because number 2 was 2. If number 2 was 3, then we will perform it again, that is 16 into 4. But in this example, we will stop because the number is 2. We have to perform 4 raised to 2. So this has to be used inside a for loop. So in the for loop, if you can remember, you can specify a range for which that operation will be performed for those number of times. I hope you remember the syntax of for loop. So for any variable. Here I have taken a variable called as I in range from 1 till number 2. Why number 2? Because we have to perform it the number of times which is saved in this variable number 2. So answer we have already set it equal to 1. So what is this 1? This is actually answer variable. And what is 4? 4 is your number 1 variable. So here answer becomes equal to 4. In the second iteration, when we say 4, this 4 refers to your answer and this 4 again refers to your number 1, and answer is again updated to 16. So what are we doing basically? Answer equal to answer into number 1. How many times do we have to do it? The number of times as specified in number 2. So we write answer equal to answer into number 1 as simplified and displayed over here. I hope you are getting this. So this for loop is used to find exponential of a number. Outside the for loop, you can print the answer stating exponential of this number is equal to answer. The final answer is saved in this variable. Then last choice is factorial. Choice number 6 is factorial. So if user enters choice 6, it will perform factorial of a number. So to perform factorial of a number, there are two ways. First way, you can use an inbuilt module available with Python and it has a function for factorial. So there is a maths module available in Python. You can imagine a module as a library. So to use that module, the first statement of your program must be import maths. Then this math module has different functions available. One of this function is factorial. So if you want to find factorial of the first number, you can say name of the module dot name of the function, inbuilt function, and in bracket pass the number whose factorial need to be found out. So we can say math dot factorial of number 1 and display the answer using print statement. So this is one way using which you can find factorial of a number. The second way is using a loop, either a while loop or a for loop. So this would be appropriate to be solved using a while loop. So let us first revise the concepts of factorial. So to find factorial of 4, how do we perform? We perform 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 and then the answer multiplied by 4. 4 is the number which we have entered. So suppose we take a variable called as fact and save the answer in fact. So in our first iteration, we perform this factorial multiplied by 1. This step. The answer is 1 itself. Then we perform factorial multiplied by 2, which is equal to 2. Then next time again we perform factorial multiplied, that is 2 multiplied by 3, which is equal to 6. Then for the last time we do 6 multiplied by 4, which is equal to 24. How long do we have to do this? 4 times, because our number is 4. So first time we multiply it by 1. Second time we multiply it by 2. Third time we multiply it by 3. And fourth time we multiply it by 4. So we have to multiply it 4 times in this example. What is this 1 over here? It is nothing but your variable fact, which we have initialized to 1. Then it is updated to 2. So the value of factorial becomes 2, which is multiplied by 3. So 2 into 3 is 6. And then we do 6 multiplied by 4. Then what are these numbers? These are just counters which we can vary from 1 to 4. So let us take it as a variable called I. So initially I is equal to 1. Then it is incremented. So you make I equal to I plus 1. So I becomes, sorry, this is plus. So I becomes equal to 2. So this is your I again, which must be incremented to 3. So it becomes 3. So next time we'll again use I and then increment it again by 1, which will be equal to 4. This is your value of I. And again increment I by 1, which will be equal to 5. Now do we have to add it 5 times, multiply it 5 times? No, we have to find it only till 4 factorial. So then we will stop. So what are we doing? Factorial equal to factorial into I. In every iteration, it is factorial equal to factorial into I. The result is getting saved in factorial variable itself. And every time we are incrementing value of I by 1. So what operations we are doing? We are basically doing factorial equal to factorial into I and incrementing I by 1. And we have to continue this till when? Till I is less than equal to the number 1, that is 4. Once I becomes greater than 4, it will stop. So you will have a while loop specifying the condition I less than equal to number 1. Then these two statements will be part of the while loop. Don't forget to maintain indentation. After the while loop, we can have a print statement showing the factorial of a number. So I hope all these operations are clear to you. Using such if-else statements and using different operators and loop constructs, for loops and while loops, you can perform different assignments in Python. Some of the assignments can be calculate Fibonacci series for a given number. So you can write a Python program to find Fibonacci series of a given number using such control statements or control loops in Python. So you students can practice this program to find Fibonacci series of a given number using any of the loops you are comfortable with. You can share your doubts or questions in the chat box. I will be there to reply them. Next session we will discuss the problem to perform or solve Python assignments using functions in Python. Thank you all.